All right, so it looks like the Patriot Act is about to be renewed. Of course, the Patriot Act came to pass under President George W. Bush. President Obama is down with it. It looks like it's about to be extended. Rand Paul just did a crazy long filibuster. He does one of these every year about the NSA, or about the Patriot Act, drones, things like that. So I wanted to talk about Rand Paul a little bit because I find him to be the most interesting character we have in the political sphere today, because most of them are just robots or partisan hacks or whatever. Rand Paul comes from a libertarian background. His father, obviously, Ron Paul. Rand comes with a little less of the baggage that his dad had, but appeals to this libertarian group of people that I think is a growing constituency in the United States. It's basically people that want the government out of your life. Now, of course, what's odd about libertarians and wanting the government out of your life, and Rand Paul as well, is that they still have strange beliefs when it comes to things like medical marijuana or gay marriage. Now, if you were a true libertarian and you believed in people's individual liberty, then you wouldn't care if they smoked a joint in the privacy of their own home at the end of the night, whether for medicinal purposes or not, and you wouldn't care who someone slept with and married. We did a story a couple weeks ago on Rand Paul and sort of parsing his words, we'll annotate to it right over here, about gay marriage. And basically he was saying that the word marriage, if churches and religious institutions want to have marriage and their definition of marriage, that's fine. But by the state standard, gay people should be allowed to have something equal. So I get it. That's not 100% what gay rights advocates want. But he's saying by the state's laws, separate the religious institutions, let them do whatever they want to do, no matter how backwards you may think it is. But that is putting the onus on them. But in terms of what the state is going to do, that it would be the same. Some people agreed with me, a lot of people didn't agree with me, but I think it's a pretty decent stance. And this is a guy who wants to become president. He has to get out of the Republican primaries and deal with all the crazy conservatives. So I thought that was a pretty progressive stance, actually, by Rand Paul. But it brings me to this thing, which is the Patriot Act. And this is something that it seems to me that most people realize has started all of the invasions of our privacies that we have, whether it's about our internet history or our phone calls or the metadata or all of that stuff, this surveillance state that just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. And the Patriot Act gave them all the rights. A ton of members of the House and Senate voted for it, of course, hugely overwhelmingly. And it's one of the biggest problems we have. And this guy's standing up for something. So I think my bigger point here is that sometimes someone who you may not agree with on a lot of stuff, and for those of you out there who are diehard liberals or progressives, you may not agree with Rand Paul on a ton of stuff, right? But I think there are times when someone is trying to do the right thing that you may not agree with all the time, and that you have to help them stand for that stuff. Oh, this sounds corny, stand for Rand, but you have to help them stand for that, because that's how we actually will affect change. It's not just by constantly preaching to the choir and only agreeing with people who agree with you on absolutely everything. It's about sometimes the other guy is not just evil and not just a bigot and blah, blah, blah. So I hope that this is the type of thing where people can start reaching across the aisle and realize that Patriot Act, not good for us, right? And here's a guy that's trying to do something right about it. So I will stand with Rand. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments right down below.